Hapcoma in chat is saying that it's time for Dosh. You're right, it is always time for Dosh. Back to Patrician 4. And things have been going pretty damn good. In fact, if I was a man with no ambition, like some kind of degenerate shoe faction, I'd be done with this. We've created a pretty good equilibrium within the Hanseatic League, where all the cities that we really care about are pretty well stocked, and they produce everything that we need, except for clothes, but that is a calculated move so that my people run around bollock naked. I produce just enough clothes for the upper echelon of society. I'm happy with that, but I won't be truly satisfied until we have everything more perfect than Cell himself. Haarlem is the only city that we have which is sheer perfection. Hang on. Oh, that is not perfection. Hang on, it could be more perfect. There are certain things a city needs to be absolutely perfect. I wonder if I built whatchamacallums here as well. Yeah, those. 100% on infirmaries. And wherever my chapels are. Did I even build chapels? There we go, 100%. But what this place is certainly missing are some more wells. Now, wells are incredibly annoying to place because finding the right area for them is tricky. There's only certain places that they're happy to be in, because if they're too close to an existing well, they just turn around and say, nah man, not doing that. And I think that's about the only thing people are complaining about right now is the lack of fountains here, because everything else is just peachy. And not even kidding, you need about 300, 200? Hundreds of them regardless, in every city to keep people well and truly happy. Did he say where do we sleep? Wow, that's getting dark. Pretty dark. I mean, I'm not so evil that I'm taking away people's ability to live now, am I? Well, we are pretty greedy. Still, finding places for these fountains can get pretty tricky. It's, in a way, a bit where the inefficiencies can actually help you in building up the city. Because you're always going to have those nooks and crannies where your gridding just doesn't quite work. And that's where you want to sneak these things in. So I'm missing like 10% of them. That's quite a few of them. I don't want to have to delete things to make space for them. Then again, I do have more clay pits than one truly needs. In fact, when I look at my setup, or how it is meant to be here, and that's why we keep good old spreadsheet on the case. When I look at what is even this place called again? Haarlem. It's only meant to have 66 clay pits, whereas I have a whole load more than that, so I can actually quite happily demolish a bunch of clay pits. And I can do something that I never normally do, and construct some large wells. That's a statue. You know what, I don't have a... Wait, what? Does it get built here or something? Huh, awesome, I didn't even know about that. I figured it was something I would plunk down, but shows what little I know. Alright, so yeah, we can actually enjoy some big fountains. There we go. I mean, they'll take a few days to be done, but that counts as quite a few of the suckers, so that might be enough. Jake, the spreadsheet still covers the screen. Well, you should be drinking it in, because it's a very important part of how this all comes together. You know, I totally just got caught up with this thing. I was meant to be talking about the Hansa as a whole, but, you know, I want this place to be done, as in never have to go back here. So that explains why I'm getting just a little bit anal about good old Haarlem here. Just a little, right? It's not over the top. Alright, well, I'm just going to assume that's enough. So yes, this is what perfection looks like. Plenty of warehouses, hell, 35 of them. full chapel coverage, full well coverage, full infirmary coverage, and the precise number of factories planned. And I have extra clay pits, and I can do with them stuff if I need to in the future. They had a role to serve, and it has been served. And our hub actually changed from Aalborg, which is looking tasty at 10,000, over to, I hope it was Rostock. Yeah, it was probably Rostock, which is why I have storage costs, because everything is getting thrown here. Storage costs are not much of a concern, but I'm glad to see that this place has tons of everything. Now, the Hawk-eyed people will notice that we had 100 million ducats last time, and we have significantly less now. I went to every single shipyard and I ordered about 20 carvels. I also went to every wagon depot and ordered a ton of wagons. It was thankless, but it should keep us hauling things for a good while. Jake, any chance of a dedicated spreadsheet episode to see how the YouTube comment section and their like and dislike ratio react to it? I've been thinking about doing a few simple guides to... well, simple. Some guides to Patrician, but we shall see. Anyway, what is the next step here? Well, it's twofold. One, I want my wagons to be done, and I'm going to mount them over in Rostock, and I will send out some convoys to supply these cities with wood and brick. I don't care about feeding them right now, but I do care about getting my warehouses built. And probably some houses, and probably a good chunk of the walls that I need around here, because I haven't been paying much attention to... yeah, there we go. I want that city wall. Build it for me. If we let a bit of time pass here... Good, they're building that wall. That's what I'm needing. And I want all my counting houses constructed and such, so that I can tell them, much like I did with all the coastal cities, what to do with them. As in, hold on to a certain amount of goods, sell. There'll be another whole 7 cities that I can make business with. But what am I doing up till then? So, as we know, Rostock has plenty of goods. Sometimes it could do with more, but see this amount of wood and brick. You might think it's quite a lot, 20,000, 15,000. I would like that to be 200,000 and 150,000. You know, tons of the stuff. Even if that might seem like an absurdly large amount. I've got storage costs even though I have 69 warehouses here. But that's okay. I mean, storage cost is not really much for us to care about. That said, I still have more wool than I would like, but that's okay. We can live with that. No clothes, but that's planned. Plenty of cheese, and that is very good. What I need to do now, and I keep beating around the bush, is cover the screen with a spreadsheet again, because get used to this. This is what we've done, and it's come out pretty well, and pretty much everything is done. Stettin is red because its population grows high. Rostock is that colour because its population increases there as well. Some are in bold because they have populations that are uncapped. And Revel is still in yellow. Why is Revel in yellow? I can't at all remember. I think it was because I had not finished with Revel. And I can't imagine why. Probably them having loads of houses is part of the problem here. But I mean, I keep this thing on low production. I'm going to build some houses just to satisfy myself here. That's one thing I'm good at. Thankfully, a lot of my cities are enjoying wealth because I'm awesome. And that is the only reason. Alright, good enough. Okay, back to good old spreadsheety. And I'm just going to knock off Revel as being done because I'm confident that it's done. Means we can say we're done with this part and then we move down because this was, you know, babies first. This is the ultimate final form of the Hansa, or at least how my calculations tell me that it's meant to be. And this should be true final form. But what I need is to build up everywhere reasonably, at a reasonably similar rate. But the thing is, what you need for building up are 4 materials first and foremost. That is wood, clay, grain, and cheese. You need 2 types of food, or else people will starve, and you need wood and clay, or else you won't get anything built. So I need to look at the places where I can produce a ton of cheese, a ton of grain, and a ton of both wood and clay. Now I could do individual places that do wood and clay, or I could take somewhere like Aarhus, which I completely own already, and really ramp up the production there. I'm not entirely sure yet. Danzig might be easier since its population is already uncapped and it's already kind of spiraling. But I also don't really want to have to care that much about Danzig since it's a bothersome place. Don't like the way that population is going up. I'd rather keep it under control. So really what I'm looking at is probably Aarhus. Aarhus is a nice place to be because I can get both the wood and the clay there. And it's a healthy sum of it, 200 and 200. And yeah, there's still pitch there, but in Aarhus I think I already have the pitch production going. Let's have a look at the place. Yeah, I got 62 of them, and I only need, according to my calculations here, I only need 50, so I can destroy quite a bit of it. So I could jump to Aarhus and get everything I need constructed here, which would have to include a bigger cathedral, or whatever it's called. Yeah, upgrade it. Increases the city's maximum population to 10,000. No, it does not. That's not how it works. So yes, I'm thinking Aarhus for the materials, at least the building materials, but then I have to think about the grain. Aalborg is certainly an option. We can get a ton of grain coming out there, but Stettin is another option. We could get tons of grain flowing pretty quickly. They also bring us the clay, which is really nice. Why don't we actually have a look at Stettin? Why don't we remember where Stettin is? Here we go. Decent population. It's already got the clay pits set up. Plenty of houses. No grain whatsoever. Plenty of houses. 130 businesses. Yeah, apparently this is where I'm going to be making tons and tons of grain. Unsure, sire, is the best way to put it. I don't even know where I'm going to fit in 500 of these grain farms. That means about 125 of my little 2x2s there. That'll be hard to fit in. Also, I don't own Stettin, so to speak. I'm unsure about it. 200,000. What is this babby mode? Go for 2 million. Or what did I say 200,000 about? Finally, there's cheese, but that's an easy one. Novgorod. So I look over at good old Novi. I notice that they do not have a minister, or a cathedral rather. I'm not mayor, so I can't force them to make one, nor can I really champion it. So I would actually have to... Actually, I'm going to have to figure out how to do this, because Novgorod is a subsidiary town. So what am I meant to do? Do I force them to build a defensive tower? I mean, do I just throw that at them and tell them to start, and then hopefully they'll get on with the cathedral soon? Whatever the case, I'm going to need a ton of dairies here. Like I said, Novgorod is the easy one to figure out there. So what do I do? Man, I wish I could crowdsource this part, because I have to do a ton of city building. Did you actually think Novgorod would be one of the first cities you build up, Jake? I wanted it to be. And I'm kind of glad it's come to that. The demand for wood and clay is going to be so high, which is why Aarhus absolutely needs to get it flowing. And I don't mind paying outrageous amounts of storage cost for it over in Rostock, because I can use it up so easily across all of these internal cities as well. So yes, Aarhus should really be the first one to pop up, so I'm actually going to construct that cathedral. Ka-ching! Hopefully we have the metal goods. Oh, we've got quite a few metal goods actually, which is, well, good. Oh boy. At least it's easier to sort out in Aarhus since there's nobody else that actually has buildings here. Infirmaries, sawmills. Now according to my calculations here, Aarhus can house 62,000 people. I'm going to check that on my city size estimate document. It still says 62,000 for Aarhus. I'm going to have to believe that. I don't even know where I found that number, but like I said, we're going to believe it. G'day, Jake. How are you, and how's the wildcard KevDev going? Hope he's profitable. Did I keep him with the name KevDev? I probably did. But I think he's no longer the wildcard. I'm not sure if he ever was. He was the Supply Nov, the KevDev. And he's doing great. In fact, he's going to have to expand, because as Novgorod grows bigger, it's going to need a lot more goods to supply it. But we're going to get Aarhus going first, and buckle yourself in, because this is going to be terribly exciting. Well, it's going to be terrible at the very least. I need 200 wood, 200 clay pits-ish, and 100, well, let's make this exact, 172 sawmills. Oh diggy, I bet you're reasonably excited about that. Sorry, just talking to myself again. Oh man, these guys are going to be so short on materials for a while. So how many of these little 2x4 grids am I going to need to fulfill that number of sawmills? I don't know how many it is. Hopefully you do. Is this actually updating the business's number? Is it 200? Okay, that's good. Now, as for the pitch makers, I need it to be a cool 50. And that means we're just a bit over. So we are going to demolish. One, 2, 1, 0. Ain't that a kicker? And I'm actually amazed that they all fit back in, because they have this terrible habit of not doing that. The lovely thing about Aarhus is that it produces all this wood and clay that I need to build these wood and clay production sites. Ah, fudge. Whew. Surprised that worked. But, okay, no, now I see the problem there. It didn't actually ever want to work. Thanks, game. Love you too. Not the band, this game. So there's a bit of a problem with going ham with just wood stuff. It does remember the order at which things are built. In this game, it never forgets. And it'll build them in order, so I need to have the clay flowing as well. If anything, clay is more important for building up your industries. In fact, building your everything. So I should have started with them. By the way, this is about as exciting as it's going to get for the next while. So, if you have literally anything better to do with your time, go and do it. Really. I'm not being coy here. We have to do this for 40 cities. This beautiful building routine. The BBR. Man, this is so very not exciting. Well, that's actually exciting. It's not often you get to see 5 buildings in a row like that. That's pretty rare. And I should write on my Patrician 4 fan site about what I saw today. Alright, so I mean, we're getting there with the business numbers, but you have to keep up with the houses as well. We only have 177 of them. So, down they go as well. But where? Now that's a question. Might as well build them right next to the infirmary, so that the sick can, well, find some good company, I guess. So I was planning on playing this last night, but of all the things to happen, I fired up Undertale and found myself really enjoying it. I quickly ran through the true neutral route, including the you-know-what boss fight. found it interesting just how many lines of dialogue there are in that game, and they are genuinely witty. So if you just ignore the fan base for the game, it's pretty damn good. Wow, a 2x5? How is that even possible? It shouldn't be possible. We making magic here? Of course, then again, the game does sometimes do stuff like this to you, where you're like, okay, I didn't even want to put a building in there. I think it's because this house here is somehow over the edge onto the road, but like I said, mysterious ways for this game. It's like the server load on Steam right now, it weighs mysterious. So I would actually like to finish Aarhus here and now. Otherwise I'm just going to be coming back to it forever. Jake, we don't come to your streams for the excitement. I don't know. I don't know why people come. They've tried to explain, but yet to give anything satisfactory. Alright, how are we looking? It's kind of more balanced out with the houses. I can get back to the businesses. But as I maintain, the clay is the more important stuff here. Oh, how are we doing on the warehouses? I only have 11 of them. I would very much like to have more than that. So I'm just going to throw down a... what's that? 19... 27... 35, probably. I don't know. I'm not good at counting. Many things I'm not good at. Actually, another thing I'm not really good at is paying attention to how many sawmills and how many clay pits I've put down. Whatever. If it's uneven, I can just demolish a few and then switch them out. But I maintain that the clay is more important right now. Cannot underestimate the importance of feeding my people, though. If my people are not fed, they will be very cranky with me. And worst of all, they won't give me tons of dosh. Yeah, I should pay a little bit of attention to the fact that this is costing me a lot of money. And I think those dairies are going to be even more expensive. But, I mean, you can't put a price on a finished city. You know, one that you don't have to come back to. One that will just work forever. That is what Harlem does for us, and I know that we're all grateful for that. I mean, I'm super, super grateful for that. Jake, so are goods like beer or more than 2 types of food just to keep people happy or to turn a profit? Both. As long as people have grain and another type of food, or let's be crystal clear here, as long as people have 2 types of food, they will not starve. And starvation is the #1 cause of people dying. But just because you keep away starvation does not mean that you're going to have a very prosperous town. It doesn't even mean that you'll have a very good population. In fact, we can take a break from building all this 14th century mass production and have a great poster child for that, and that is Kaunas. Kaunas produces both cheese and grain. Here's the grain, and here's the cheese. So people in Kaunas don't starve unless I come in and buy up all their food, but what kind of asshole would do that? Nonetheless, they don't have particularly high prosperity here, or status I think is what this is called. That's because the range of goods that they have here is pretty limited-ish. It's actually pretty high, surprisingly high. I'm going to put that down to the fact that I have some carts working here. Excuse me. But if all they had was the grain and the cheese and whatever couple other things they make, they would probably be in stagnation or even worse. They could go down to, I forget what it is, it's like depression or state of emergency or something. And then people do bugger off until there are so few people that it can go back up again due to nobody using up the pathetic few goods that they have. So yes, when you look at somewhere like Edinburgh, where they have so many different goods, that is why they're able to enjoy this high status, and you can push that up a bit more if you have enough cathedrals and wells and all that jazz. Then you have places like Rostock and Haarlem who are just so happy. I mean, even though they've got a horrible outbreak of rats, they're still wealthy. And we like wealthy people. It's just a fact of life. Wealthy people are better people. So I'm short an enormous amount of goods here. 18,000 clay, 9,000 wood. Don't you worry, girlie. They're going to be short a good bit more. How many types of food do you need to get patricians on Caesar, Jake? 3. You do not need 4. Hang on. That was a trick question, wasn't it? The best patricians need 3. Patricians in general, you only need 2. Feh, only. Oh, I feel like this is a trap. There we go, I think we can fit in slightly more by doing it that way, even if it's ugly as sin. But hey, who isn't? I'm gonna make that line here just to get a straight edge. Don't underestimate straight edges around here, and I can rectify that situation. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Where do these guys even get their clay from, really? Or do I just not understand how clay works? I thought I'd seen enough primitive nature to understand it. Perhaps not. Or maybe played enough Caesar 3 to understand it. Alright, I mean, I can't really count how many of these things we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, which is like 160. And then a whole bunch more of them, which is like, I don't know, lots. Do I look like a guy that can count? Once the industries number hits 620, I know I'm in a good spot.